Hi guys, welcome back to Mr. Muse Models. This is another inbox review video and we're carrying on with the theme that I left off with the last one where I reviewed Great Wall Hobby's 1:144 scale Vulcan, and today we're going to be reviewing a bit more of a rarer kit, shall we say, that I've not seen any reviews online on YouTube for, so I thought I'd do one as well. And it's this little Micro-Mir kit. It's a Polish company, I believe, and it's the British bomber Vickers Valiant Mark 1. So we'll get the box open, get the cameras pointed down at the bench, and we'll have a walk and talk through what's inside the box, and I'll let you know what I think of it. So trying a bit of a different camera angle for my main camera on this one, and we'll see how it goes. So as you can see, this is the British bomber Vickers Valiant Mark 1 from Micro-Mir. Box art in this question is not a photo, it looks like a 3D render. I'm not going to say it's overly inspiring, not my favourite piece of box art out there, but it certainly represents the Valiant quite nicely. There you go. So, a bit of a flimsy box, this one, and there's not much detail on the side. Actually, we'll just quickly and we'll start again. So here we have the Micro-Mir Vickers Valiant Mark 1. As you can see, box art, I think this box art's a 3D render. I'm not overly taken with it. I don't think it's the most enticing box art in the world, but it represents a Valiant. Other than that, on the box we have got a bit of blurb here to say it contains one plastic model kit with photo etch parts, film, decals, glue, paint are not included. May contain small parts not suitable for children under the age of 10. The other side of it sounds basically the same thing. So bringing it back, things to note here, the kit number for this one is number 144-003. The box itself is quite flimsy. It's not the strongest box in the world, but it will do the job. So, instructions. We've got some sprues, and then everything just kind of mumble jumbled in the bottom here, and the decals and photo etch. So, we will start, as always, with the instructions and the decals and take from there. So, the instructions here. They feel very flimsy, just feel like somebody's printed off a piece of A4. On the front of it we've got a bit of blurb, a bit of history about the aircraft, as we do in most of these cases. And we've got a bit of generic symbols, which looks relatively similar to like the Airfix ones. And then we're straight into the build. We're assembling fuel tanks, and then onto the landing gear, which is interesting, and then you get your sprue map afterwards, so that's a bit different. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 kind of different sprues, I reckon. Anyway, moving on, we then move on to working onto the main wings. So putting in wheel wells here, fan blades for the engines, and bringing the top and bottom wings together. Then we're moving on to finishing off the engine work at the back with the exhausts, and then we bring the port and starboard fuselage halves together, and in there we're popping in the Nosewheel Bay and the Cockpit, which is not going to be extremely detailed. And then we're talking about nose weight once again, but it doesn't actually give you any idea of nose weight, so it will have to be sort of a dry fit and then try and figure out how much you're going to need. And then we've got a bit of work on the nose wheel, landing gear, doors going on here, and a bit of photo etch, I believe, detailing up. And then on the back page here we have got, we're putting in the main landing gear, so port and starboard, and basically it's just going to duplicate each side, a bit more photo etch by looks in there. And then the last thing is just adding on lumps and bumps with more photo etch. So, fuselage the instructions are a little bit rustic, and I think this kit is going to be another one of the artisan type kits, if that makes sense. markings, we have got 3 markings available to us. So we've got one which is the Royal Australian Air Force, and that dates back to 1961, and that is an all-over light, silver. Silver with a little bit of light grey at the front, and then we've got 2 RAF versions here with the anti-flash white, and then the Decals. So I'll probably be doing one of the 2 RAF versions. I'm not sure which one it is yet. On the other side of this, we have got stencil data, and there's a fair bit to be going on there. Let's have a look at the Decals next. Our Decals haven't been opened. So, bring you nice and tight for the Decals. There we go. Right. There we go. So, Decals, let's get them right way up, that will help. Not too many Decals here. I'm not sure who makes them, so I'm not sure the quality. They don't feel particularly thick, which is always a good start in the scale. Doesn't seem to be having too much carrier film around the roundels, for example, which is always good. Around the serial numbers, though, you can't see too much there, so they're looking alright. The question will be, how do they go down and how do they react with like the setting agents. Next thing we'll look at is this tiny piece of photo etch here, and we'll bring you right in for that. There we go. So as you can see, a little bit of photo etch here to represent some of the smaller detail, the finer detail. Doesn't say who it's made by, but photo etch is quite generic. Feels very, very thin and very fragile, so that's going to be having to be done slowly and with care when those go on. And also, whilst we're here, we'll look at the transparency, which is looking quite nice. I like the way they've sort of done the whole of it in one transparent pass, and then you'll just mark off the windows for the cockpit. So that's that. Let's just bring you back out. There we go. Right, so we'll start with the fuselages. Now, this being more of a limited run kit, it's not going to be the quality that you'd expect from maybe the Great War Hobby Vulcan. Nevertheless, what we've got here, we've got 2 nice fuselage halves. We've got some recessed detail. The panel lines don't seem too bad, in all honesty. I'm just trying to catch those in the light for you. I don't know if you can see them. They seem to be all more or less the same sort of width and depth, which is always a good start on these kind of kits. Anybody who's ever built an A model kit will know that your panel lines generally aren't that consistent, shall we say. So in fact, these look quite consistent, quite nice. On the reverse, we've got no detail whatsoever, and we've got no locating tabs. Also, it looks like we've got a little bit of warpage going on here. I don't know if we'll be able to pick that up. There we go. On the vertical stabilizer, there's a little bit of warpage, so that's going to have to require a little bit of attention when you come around to assemble it. But then again, that could just be my version, this kit. Next, we'll look at the upper fuselage, upper wings here, and 2 things which scare me already are these little pitot tubes. I think they are on the outside of the wings. They're very flimsy, bendy. And I think that you'll have to be careful during the build because they're going to go missing. But other than that, we're carrying on the theme with some sort of nicest details there, and overall, once again, the panel lines are recessed, they're consistent. The plastic itself feels a little bit rough here, so it's probably going to benefit from a polish. So just come over there with a buffing stick and polish it out. Next one we're looking at is the lower fuselage halves and the horizontal stabilisers, and here once again we're sort of carrying on detail acceptable for the scale, and consistent power lines, which is always good. And once again on the flip side, we're void of any detail, any locating tabs. start with this sprue because this one is already open. This sprue here, we have got parts of the engine bays, and we've got some of the undercarriage. We've also got, I think, the part of the cockpit in here, and Nosewheel bays. Detail on this one's a little bit inconsistent, so if we're looking on the top right hand corner here, this is quite nicely detailed, and we've got some nice light ribbon effect in there. I'm not quite sure what that bit's for. I think that's for the inside of the main gear wheel wells, which is quite nice. And then when you look at like the nose wheel well here, that's quite inconsistent and looks quite looks like the job wasn't done properly, if that makes sense. But I'm sure it'll work. The cockpit is literally 2 places to put some seats, and that is about it. And that's that there, so no detail there whatsoever. And that would be the instrument panel, no detail once again whatsoever. This brings us on to the last couple of screws. Here, I just need to get them open and find out where the opening is. There we are. So these screws are identical, so I'm just going to look at the one. This is landing gear wheels, and then fan blades for the engines and the fuel tank. The fan blades look quite nice, landing gear wheels not so nice, and then the fuel tanks look okay for scale, so not too bad. And the last sprue left is this one here, which is, if I bring you in, this is landing gear. Looks quite delicate and flimsy, but you expect it in that scale. But the detail looks okay. So not too bad, not too bad. Anyway, so that is a quick sprue tour of the Vickers Valiant in 1:144 scale by Micro-Mir. What I'm going to do is flip the cameras back around to face me and just give you my little thoughts of the kit. So there you have the inbox review of the 1:144 scale Vickers Valiant Arc 1 from Micro-Mir. It's a limited run kit. And therefore it's not anywhere near the quality of your mainstream kits like the Great Wall Hobbies, Vulcans, Vickers, things like that. However, as far as I'm aware, it's the only Valiant available in the scale, and therefore if you want to do all 3 V bombers in the same scale, it's your only option. In 72nd scale you could do the Victor, the Valiant and the Vulcan from Airfix. But in 1:144 scale you've got the Vulcan and the Victor from Great Wall Hobby, and the only Valiant that I found is this one from Micro-Mir, so that's why I got it. So it will be built at some point as part of the sort of little project of building all 3 of the V bombers. I'm not going to be doing an inbox review of the Great Wall Hobby Victor, simply because it's been done by Phil Flory and he did a really good job, and it's a very nice looking kit. So if you want to go and see an inbox review of the Victor, just type in Great Wall Hobby Victor and you will find Phil's review of it. So yeah, that's about it really for this video. As always, I'm going to wrap it up by saying thank you very much to everybody who's following along. Thank you very much to the subscribers and those who comment. I'll try and get back to everybody who does comment. And once again, thank you for your support. So I'm going to wrap it up there, guys, and say happy modelling as always. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye.